Happy Mindful Monday, Conscious Leaders. I hope you enjoyed the video of A Tale of Two Brains. It's one of my absolute favorite to really understand a man and woman's brains. And if you haven't listened to it, or watched it first rather, I highly recommend that even before this video because it actually might help you a little bit more. So what I want to speak about right now is actually something that's called the Corpus Callosum. And think about this as like a thick band of nerve fibers that divides our right and left hemisphere of our brains. And so what happens in a man, the way it's designed in a man's brain and a woman's brain, is that a man's brain has a corpus callosum that's like a 2-lane highway. It's like that thick. And a woman's brain has one that's that thick. It's like a 4-lane highway is the way I like to think about it. And so what that does is it takes our left brain, our more logical brain, and our right brain and our more emotional brain, and it's the bridge between the two. And so because a man's is thinner, and if they don't spend time to really cultivate that and create that, oftentimes them living in one or the other instead of being weaved in between the two is just normal. It just makes sense per their actual physiology, where a woman can go between the two worlds so much easier, so much faster. Because a man doesn't really have that natural capacity, and because a woman does, oftentimes we make each other very wrong. And it's important to pay attention to this, whether it's in our intimate lives, in our friendships, in our intimate relationships, or if it's in our work environment, because it's actually happening all the time. And you may have heard this before, is that they're like the idea that men are stupid and women are crazy. And there's validity in that. I'm just going to shift the perspective a little bit. Is that the idea of men are stupid is that it's the idea that men are simple. They can look at things, break things down in a more simplistic manner and be able to really operate in a way that's more logical. Where a woman is perceived as crazy because she really has the ability to experience emotion, to move energy in her body and to be able to be expressive about that. Where from a man's brain perspective, that might come off as crazy. And so there is so much beauty, and I think it's really important to pay attention to the way in which it shows up in us as who we are as in our genders, because the more we can actually value the other for what they bring to the table and recognize that what they have is a gift and it's something that maybe they're offering that we don't necessarily have, or they're helping us see a different side of a story, or they're helping maybe help us stay within one realm, the more we can actually have greater connection that's positive, that's above the line. So this week, just start to explore maybe some beliefs you might have, some certain thoughts or feelings you might have around the opposite sex and the way they operate in their worlds, and you operate with them, and just see and notice if there's resistance, if there's judgment, and then how in turn can you shift perspective and see the value of what they're bringing to the table, and maybe even get, again, of course, curious and start to try to really understand maybe where they're coming from. So have a great week. As I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, feel free to reach out with any questions, and I'll speak with you soon.